Geoff and Adam. We won 1-0 against Elmstead. Adam, you scored the goal, so we'll come on to that in a minute. We won't start with that, but petition to change the song from "You'll Never Score a Goal" to "He's Gone and Scored a Goal."
Let's get it done.
It was it was a game with a lot of chances in the first half, Geoff, I guess, and we didn't make any of them count. And we were well on top. I don't think they had a shot in the first half, but were you happy with the first half? Did you feel it was just a question of time, or were there things that you wanted to change about it?
Yeah, I think that's what we said. I think it was more or less at halftime. We just said more of the same because I felt we actually were playing well. The game plan that we had to have the 2-8s and Briggsley sort of sitting by himself and just really push them back and try and play a simple pattern that we would start from the back and then Ross would drop a bit deeper, draw their midfielders, and then the space will be to clip it into Cam, and then we'll go behind from there. And that pretty much worked to a T, pretty much for the majority of the first half. But again, it's that bit of composure that we're asking for because again, the pitch is wobbly in certain aspects. So you trying to take first time shots won't always be on. So again, we've warmed up, we've played on this pitch enough time. So all we're asking our forwards when you get into those situations, especially if you're in front of the defender, take an extra touch, steady yourself, and then take the strike. Because for all the chances that we had, the 1v1s, the keeper didn't have a save to make. So we've got to be making the keeper work. And I always say, when playing against a team like this, again, no disrespect to them, our levels are higher. And when we play the better teams, you're not going to get 4 or 5 1v1s. So our conversion rate needs to be better. So, and we rotated slightly today. So we had sort of good, quality on the bench. Az was on the bench. Julian was on the bench. Louis, so we had good options. So if the front three, weren't working, was going to change it straight away, really, because you don't want to go behind in these sort of games, and it becomes, pardon my French, a shithousery sort of game, and you can't really expect the ref to help you in that aspect. So yeah, I mean, they went to 10 men, and again, Noah was through. And then I think they went down to 9 men, I believe, with a sin bin. So again, we just forced it in terms of we just went 2 up top, kept the width. When Jake coming on, we kept Fred on, and then we just tried to keep knocking on the door. And lucky enough, and obviously Adam produced a bit of quality, which you could say he was fortunate to be there because obviously if he's injured, he might have not been there. But ultimately,
let's come on to the story of your injury and how you found yourself up at the top end of the pitch. So you got injured in a collision with the keeper.
Exactly.
It's one of those ones where you've got to go for it.
Yeah. Got a little push from one of the defenders, I think, into the goalkeeper. And then I was signaling to Geoff. I was like, I can't do any more. But we'd made all our subs, obviously. So the solution was just stand up top. The little note came out.
But yeah, I know we want to talk about the note. This was picked up by Tony in the crowd in particular. It was adamant that there had been a note. And what did it say? Pizza order? That sort of what was it?
It's just easier because when you're doing, obviously you're changing formation and players are going in different different slots in different areas. It's just easier to have a note and then sort of like the players can get the message across as opposed to sort of getting them all over to the side unless, again, we sort of play the game, someone fakes an injury, get some time, and then we get them all across. So in that time, it's just easier for Jack Mellis to just write a note, and then so everyone sort of knows, and then they can all shuffle in their position. It's not a formation we haven't played before, 3 at the back, 2 up top. So it's just a case of obviously just understanding who's going where. Even with the note, it still took Fred a bit of time to sort of understand he's in the 10 because he was still playing wide. But ultimately, yeah, that's what it is. I said we'll always want to go for the win, especially considering how the game was, and they had really settled for a point, pretty much early in the second half. Sorry, so we just had to make all the running, and that's a credit to the players who a lot of players played on Tuesday as well. So to go again on Saturday, it's not easy, but we just know realistically we're going to need at least probably 5 wins out of this last 7 to give us a chance, really. And even that might not be enough, but we just want to give ourselves a fighting chance. We don't want the season to peter out and it's kind of like everyone sort of look forward to the cup final, where we've got stuff to play for. We want to go into the cup final with a bit of momentum, a bit of form, so it gives us a better chance of obviously winning it.
Okay, we're going to return to the goal in a second, but first of all, I mean, you'd say, we were quite comfortable. They did have the ball in the net at one point, then number 12 who came on and looked a very good young player. I had a shot from around the edge of the area, ended up in the net, and referee blown for something.
Yeah, handball. I'm not sure, but our players did stop as well.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, really deserve the favour.
I just thought it was worth mentioning. But anyway, let's return to the goal. You're up top. Is it Jake comes through as a shot and it's deflected onto the bar in any case?
I think Jules might have had a shot.
Jules
Deflected, and to be honest, it probably wasn't a classic, but it almost went in slow mo.
It looked great to me.
Slow mo, and I don't know, time stood still, but it was one of those games really. We weren't going to score, a clear chance, so just needed a scrappy goal really. Keeper got a hand to it, but yeah, not bad. 90th minute as well. That's when you want to score. And obviously against 10 men, we were confident we'd be able to hold it out. So they didn't really, even with 11, they didn't really trouble us. I don't think any times really during the game.
No, okay. So next week we are home again. It's non-league day, isn't it? It's Croydon.
Yes, against Croydon, who it was a funny game earlier in the season. We were at 4 down at
half time. 4-3.
And then just nearly got the equaliser as well. So it's another traditional cliche 6-pointer really. They're above us, so we can't really afford to lose that. And home advantage as it is, we've got to use it really, because I think after that we've got 2 tricky away ties, Sheppey and Staplehurst, again 2 tricky ties away. So we've got to utilise our home form as much as possible. So we'll go again, like we have been doing. Like I said, since January, I think our form's been really good. So especially our home form. So they'll come here with some apprehension really. That we're one of the form sides. So we just got, as I said, to apply ourselves. Have a formation, a way of playing that we're going to continue doing, and let's see if we can actually be more clinical in that. Because against Croydon, you expect them to be better. So you expect we won't have the sort of like the XG that we had today. So it's very important, like I say, when the chances do come, we do take them, because that changes the game. Especially when we go one up at home, I do fancy us to sort of see it out, no matter who we play against. When we score early with the crowd, the players, the confidence that we have, we do sort of tend to see it out. So it's just always trying to get that first goal, and then the longer it went 0-0 for them, it kind of suited them.
Okay, great. Okay, on to next week. Thanks both of you.
Thank you.
Cheers.